Hello and welcome to another edition of Fulltime with Tonge Wareing, the football podcast, of course, which is for absolutely everybody. If you've got a football story you want us to talk about and you can join in as well, then email us on fulltimewithtw@gmail.com. We're also available on X as well, @fulltimetw. You all right, Al?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Anthony. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. We'll start as ever, as we always do, with your away end, if that's okay. Al, if you can remind us, first of all, to the 3 clues that you gave out on the last edition of this podcast, and then we'll see who got it. We'll see who got it right.
Yeah, we're getting around a bit with these away ends, aren't we?
We certainly are.
The first clue was this ground was constructed and opened in 1906. And we just threw a little extra clue into the first one. We said there was a golf link to it, so that'll become clear in a few seconds. Clue number 2 was the attendance record was set in a 1939 FA Cup tie against Everton. And the third clue, which probably was the best one for people to guess, and that was it was used as Coventry's home ground for 2019-20 and 2020-21 seasons. So the ground, of course, was St Andrews, known in its current form as St Andrews at Knighthead Park.
Yep.
So that was where I was situated last week.
Very good. Any correct answers?
Yeah, we've got a few on. Harrison Beer has got us. He got it correct. Stephen Sykes. And Rob Bidder. Rob Bidder's doing really well.
That's isn't he? Yeah. Is he following you? Is he following you around the country?
I think he is, I think he's sat in the away with me, Rob. But what we'll have to do is he's a big Exeter fan, so I know we've said, didn't we, that we need to get an address off Rob to send him like a Tonge Wareing mug down, and which we will do. But as soon as we can get that, I might message him after this actually to see if I can get something, and we'll get that in the post for him.
Yeah, we'll sort that out for you. Well done to everybody that got it right. Right, Al, you're on your travels again. First clue to the new one, please.
Yeah, so first clue, this ground was constructed in 1899, and it's been the only home ground in this club's history. So an old club, and they've never moved away from this particular ground.
There you go. fulltimewithtw@gmail.com or on X, fulltimetw, if you want to have a go at Alan's away end. A couple more clues coming up before we end this edition of Fulltime with Tonge Wareing. Right, Al, tonight we're going to talk about the Premier League. Quick preview on that. We're also going to talk about the review of the first weekend of the EFL. But before all that, I've been scouring the internet for stories that have taken place, or stories that's worth talking about from the world of football this week. And it seems as though, Al, pre-season's just gone on forever, hasn't it, for some clubs? Pre-season is actually still being played out for some teams. And I don't know if you saw what happened to Newcastle yesterday in their friendly game against Bayer Leverkusen. Did you hear about this?
No, I've not seen that news, Alan.
Okay, so 24 minutes in, Newcastle realised that they were wearing the wrong shirts and they were going to have to change the kit during the game. I mean, 24 minutes in, and you realise that there might be a kit clash, and then you're going to have to change shirts. I mean, what on earth is going on there? I mean, that's Sunday League stuff, isn't it, on a Premier League budget, really?
It is. That's really a random answer. Yeah. Like, what a ridiculous situation to find yourself in, dear me.
I mean, if you're a Newcastle fan sat there watching it and you see your players go off, you've got to be thinking, what on earth is going on? And you can imagine it, couldn't you, coming over the loudspeaker system, oh, we're very sorry, but Newcastle have got to change their shirts. I mean, surely you should check these things before a game of football kicks off.
Oh, definitely. That's up to the officials then to have a look at that. And you report what you're playing in, you report your kit colours, and there should be no problem there. So, yeah, like you say, that was a little bit amateurish, wasn't it, to say the least?
Yeah, well, they weren't the only team this week to be caught up in a little bit of Premier League controversy. Did you hear what happened in the Fulham-Malaga game during the week?
I didn't. I've not seen that news either.
Okay, so it finished 2-2. Okay, Fulham 2, Malaga 2. Now, Malaga wanted a penalty shootout because there was a trophy up for grabs here, by the way, I should say. But Fulham didn't, well, whether or not they wanted one or not is another matter to discuss, but they weren't prepared to take part in one. So a little bit of chat ensued. Fulham didn't bother with it. Malaga took one penalty in empty net and claimed the victory. How's that?
Dear me, what's going on?
Fantastic.
Crazy.
Fantastic. So there you go. I mean, penalty shootout, please. And Fulham said, we're not taking it, and then claimed the trophy after just taking one solitary penalty into an empty net. If you've got a story that you want us to discuss here on Full Time with Tonge and Wareing, then you can do so. Email it in fulltimewithtw@gmail.com. Right, Al, coming up next, we're going to talk about the first weekend of the EFL season. Full Time with Tonge and Wareing, the football podcast, which is absolutely for everybody. This weekend, Al, the EFL season got underway, but before we start discussing some of the selected results from the weekend, can we have your second clue, please, to Al's away end?
Certainly can. So the first one, let's go back very, very quickly. The ground was constructed in 1899, and it's the only home ground that this club's ever had in its history. And clue number two, and maybe one that a few might sort of jump on here and get this now. So it's the only professional ground that's not located on the mainland of Great Britain.
Wow, there we go.
One, yeah.
Yeah. So fulltime with tw@gmail.com on email if you want to have a go at that. And we're on X as well, Fulltime TW. Right, Al, the Football League season got underway this weekend, but before we discuss that, we can finally put to bed our score prediction competition, which we seem to have had running for absolutely ages, because the Devon Derby in the first round of the League Cup was played last Monday evening, and it finished Plymouth 2, Exeter 0. And so therefore, we've got a bit of a tie in our score prediction competition. It's between yourself and Andy Robinson, who both finish on 5 points. I don't think we can give the win to ourselves, can we? We're going to have to give it to Andy Robinson.
I think we'll have to try and, if Andy again, if he's listening to this pod, hopefully he is.
Yeah.
If he could send us some details over onto our games.
Send us your contact details, Andy. We'll get a prize out to you in the post. Fulltime with tw@gmail.com. Well done. You are the winner of our very long-running, seems like we've had it running for ages, score prediction competition. Could have given it to you, Al, but it wouldn't be right, would it, to give the win to a host of this podcast?
No, we've got to sort of, if it's a draw, we've got to favour the listener there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like I say, I'll get myself over to the post office if Andy can give us his contact details, his address details, and I'll get a little something out in the post for him.
Quite right too. You may remember as well, a few episodes ago, we looked at potential winners of each division, and I believe you've had a couple more messages on this, Al.
I have, yes. I had a message from Jay Holiday, and Jay's gone for Chelsea to win the Premier League, Middlesbrough to win the Championship, Plymouth to win League One. So Jay's a big Plymouth supporter.
There's a shock.
Yeah, and Tranmere to win
another
League
one for
Two.
Tranmere. Yeah, we had somebody else, didn't we, go for Tranmere? Might be
a bit of a dark horse there. But again, the power sometimes onto social media. Jay sent us a little message and he said, good evening, Alan. Hope you're okay. Just wanted to tell you that you knew my late dad. And it was a lad called Michael Holiday, and we've known him affectionately as the Doc.
Right. When
he was at Exeter. He was a director at Exeter for a while.
Yeah.
And he went to work in the commercial side and became secretary. And, Jay sent me a message and said, you know me, my late dad. And what an absolute diamond of a bloke he was, Mike. He was a superb fella. And when I rocked up at Exeter for the very first time, which was quite a long trip down the M6 and M5, Mike was the first person I ever saw when I reported into the club shop and said, hello, I'm Alan Tonge. I've come to join Exeter City. Where's me digs and stuff like that? And Mike sorted us out. So, that was a really, really nice memory that was jogged there. And, thanks for Jay for reminding me that. But yeah, your late dad was a top fella, an absolute diamond of a bloke.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. That's the kind of stuff we like right here on this podcast. Fulltime with tw@gmail.com as well if you want to get in touch. As I said earlier, at Fulltime TW as well on X. Right, Al, let's have a look at... Go on.
Sorry, I'm very quickly just got one more from Tony Buckingham.
Oh, of course, yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
And Tony he's going for Arsenal for the Premier League. He's put in brackets. He wished he was saying United, but he can't at the moment. He's gone for Birmingham to win the Championship. He's gone for Leicester to win League One.
Yeah.
And he's gone for League Two, Chesterfield, because he said Cookie is building again, he says. So we'll see how Chesterfield get on. So that's Tony Buckingham's picks, Ant.
I've had the pleasure of interviewing Paul Cook on a number of occasions. Very colourful character, I can tell you. Marvellous man to speak to. Always gives you something golden to speak about when you do speak to him anyway. Right, Al, let's have a quick look back at League Two from yesterday. Of course, it was the first round of fixtures in the Football League this weekend. And I'm just looking at the results here in front of me. And I suppose really the standout result has to be for Barnet, who beat Salford at home by 3-1.
Yeah, we said, I think, quite a few of the listeners who sent in predictions for the League Two winners had said Salford City. So
that was me and you as well. Yeah,
it was. I hold my hand up. Salford off through a bit of a slow start there. No, Barnet, I think, are quite highly regarded, aren't they? I think I've seen them in a few bookies listed near the top. So that was a bit of a tough test for Salford yesterday. And as you say, a bit of a, maybe, can you call it a surprise? Maybe.
First day league results are always a bit strange, I tend to find.
Yeah, definitely. So, a really good 3 points for Barnet.
Yeah, another good win here for Cheltenham as well. They beat another one of my predicted sides, making me look like I've got egg on my face. Cheltenham 2, Rotherham 1. Good start for Cheltenham.
Was a really good start for Cheltenham. I think Peter Sweeney got a bit of a run in there, didn't they? The old Exeter defender. And as we spoke about on a pod last week, Rotherham, Alex Bruce, manager there, Steve Bruce's son, and they've got, I think they've got Steve McLaren in, aren't they, as director of football, so trying to build a good infrastructure and brilliant result for Cheltenham.
I just want to pick out another couple of ones quickly as well, Al. Good win for Fleetwood at Chesterfield.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And, we spoke to somebody, didn't we, yesterday, who was saying that they were at the game and they were talking about, how Fleetwood kind of really showed some good resolution and really dug in. And on other occasions, they might have sort of let somebody back in for a draw there, but they managed to hold on and, like you say, going away from home and picking up 3 points on your first game of the season is a big thumbs up for Fleetwood. Well done.
Yeah, York City beat Bristol Rovers as well in what looked like a very good game, 3-2.
Yeah, York City, I say, coming from the National League last season, and they've had a little bit of turbulence over the pre-season with managerial changes, but really good start for York and what sounded like a really exciting contest against Bristol Rovers, 3-2.
Yeah, let's look at League One. Then very quickly, Leicester were held to a draw by newly promoted Notts County. These two sides were 2 divisions apart last season.
Yeah, so Leicester really expected to do something, aren't they? A lot of people are saying that, absolutely guaranteed to go straight back up again, but football sometimes doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Really good draw for Notts County. And as you say, they were a couple of leagues apart. Notts County coming out of League Two and then Leicester dropping down from the Championship. So, good point for Notts County to start their season off.
Good start for Jim McNulty at Stockport. He took his side to Plymouth Argyle and got a 3-1 win. Brilliant
start for Stockport, having a look at some of the goals last night, some of the action, some really good play. And, I think Stockport were dominating that game. I think there was a 3-0 up at one stage, weren't they? And Plymouth got a consolation goal back. But, if you can go away on your first game of the season and pick 3 points up, it's a great little start for you.
I have to say, Al, as well, I hate reading about football teams and football clubs which go through financial difficulties when it feels like as though it's no fault of their own or certainly no fault of the supporters. I always feel for the supporters of any club who have to go through that. And so I have to give a big shout out to Sheffield Wednesday, who got a 2-1 win at Leyton Orient because they've been through the mill this year.
Yeah, they've had some real problems, haven't they, over the last couple of seasons. Financial problems and points deductions, and they've had a raw deal, like you say. The supporters have, because
it's nothing to do with it. Massive club, and the football supporters are the ones that suffer there, aren't they? Through no fault of their own.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's good to see them start their league season off with a nice win at Orient, and let's hope that brighter times ahead for the Sheffield Wednesday fans.
And another club that got a good win yesterday, in probably what was the game of the day in League One, Luton Town, who went to Reading and won by 4-3. And that was a topsy-turvy game. That one did ebb and flow. And I think at one point, Reading might have actually been 3-1 up in that game.
Yeah, really, really good start for Luton. I think you mentioned it out in the pod a pod or two ago. You said that you fancied them
Yeah,
to maybe do something this season in League
yeah,
One, and
yeah,
they've got a couple of good players there. I know the old Exeter player Jay Richards is there, isn't he? I think I'm not too sure if he notched a goal or he scored a goal. I'll have to double check that,
yeah.
but he's quite an exciting player. So yeah, really good start for Luton, and like you say, I'm getting a really good 3 points, and it's what sounded like a fantastic game, a real ebb and flow contest.
Yeah, right into the Championship then. And I suppose really the one I want to talk about is the one that finished just hours before we recorded this edition of Full Time with Tonge Wareing, because West Ham were 2-0 up at Burnley and were pegged back and it finished 2-2.
Yeah, so I was keeping an eye on that this afternoon, and I think West Ham had Burnley kind of on the ropes a little bit, 2-0 up, but Burnley were unlucky. Had a few good chances, hit the post, and then, good resilience from good character, come roaring back into the game, got a penalty to make it 2-1, and then managed to find a late equaliser 2-2. So, yeah, I think after being 2-0 down, then Burnley will be really happy with that point.
Yeah, they certainly will. Wolves were held at home as well on Friday night to Blackburn Rovers in a game which many would have thought Wolves would have won.
Yeah, again, Wolves coming out of the Premier League, opportunity for them to bounce back. We say, I know it's not that straightforward, is it, with teams that get relegated? A lot of supporters feel that, it'll be all right next season, they'll be back in it again. But, it's quite competitive, the Championship. We say this a lot, I know you have a difficult game most weeks. And as you say, 2-2 at home to Blackburn on Friday night to get the Championship off and running, take a point each there, and see what happens over this next few games now, and see how that starts to unfold.
Yeah, just one game to be played yet, the timing of the recording of this podcast, and that's Cardiff against Wrexham in the Welsh derby. That one is going to be played. That's going to be played on Monday evening. That one,
Yeah.
Cardiff against Wrexham. Right, next up then, we're going to preview the Premier League, and I'm going to put Alan on the spot a little bit. You're listening to Full Time with Tonge and Wareing, the football podcast. As we remind you always, for absolutely everybody, if you've got a story that you want to talk about, anything football related, no matter what standard, no matter where it comes from, then fulltimewithtw@gmail.com is the email address you want to send it into, and we will discuss it with you on this football podcast as well. Right, Al, the Premier League gets underway next weekend. And, of course, today, hours before recording this particular edition of Full Time with Tonge and Wareing, we've had the Community Shield, and Arsenal have claimed the first silverware of the season. And in doing so, they've really sent a message out to everybody else because they hammered Man City today.
Yeah, one-sided, and I was keeping an eye on that this afternoon. I thought it would have probably been a closer contest than it turned out to be. But Arsenal scored after 25 seconds and really dominated after that. And they look a good side. I fancy them to do a back-to-back, to be honest with you. I think they're looking really good, really strong. They've added a good addition in Guimarães, and you look at some of the other players that they have as well, Odegaard, and they're looking like a really strong outfit this season again. And no reason why they can't go at it again and probably have a great chance of winning the Premier League.
Well, they start their season, of course, on Friday night with a home fixture against Frank Lampard's newly promoted Coventry City. Al, we could sit here all the way through the rest of this edition and we could talk about every team's chances, but I'd rather you put your thinking cap on a little bit, and I'm going to give you something to think about, and I'm going to give the listeners a chance to also join in on this as well. fulltimewithtw@gmail.com. I have got here 12 teams in front of me from the Premier League, and I've paired them all up against one another, and I want you and the listeners to tell me, out of the teams which I give you now, who will finish highest. Okay?
Right, sounds okay.
All right, so I'm going to start off with Ipswich or Hull. Who will finish highest?
Okay, so we've got, this is going to be quite tough because two teams kind of coming back into the Premier League. Hull City did really well at the end of last season. They managed to win the playoff final and they got a bye through. And I think that was the scandal with Southampton in the semi, wasn't it? Or sorry, the scandal was Southampton in the final, wasn't it? They got replaced by somebody. I think it was Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
that's right. And I think that Hull City managed to get on top of Middlesbrough late on in that game and get a 1-0 win. I'll probably plump for Ipswich, because they've spent a lot of money this summer. They've got some really, really good backing. So out of the two sides entering the Prem, I probably think that Ipswich are in more of a sort of better shape to overachieve than Hull City, maybe. And they've spent 106 million on 10 signings, Ipswich. So
wow,
it was a bit of a blow losing Kieran McKenna. That was a strain, but. Gary O'Neill coming in has got like a little bit of experience there, so Ipswich could do okay, Ante. So out of those two sides, I'll go for Ipswich.
Okay, you can have a go as well. Fulltime with tw@gmail.com. Who will finish higher, Ipswich or Hull? Next one, Crystal Palace or Fulham?
Yeah, two probably evenly matched teams, and they probably those couple of sides they can find results. Tough places to go and get results. So, but out of the two, to finish one higher than the other, I'll probably plump for Palace. I think Palace have done really well over this last sort of season or so. They've managed to win an FA Cup final, beat Man City. They've managed to win a Community Shield, and they've also managed to win the Conference League as well, pick up a European trophy. So they've done fantastically well.
Yeah.
So out of those two sides, and to finish higher in the Premier League season 26-27, I'll go with Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Fulham under new management, of course. Spurs or Aston Villa? Who will finish higher out of those two?
Yeah, again, Spurs have been disappointing this last couple of seasons, finished really low in the league. Yeah, amazingly battled relegation. They were close to going at the end of the last season. So I think De Zerbi's been allowed to spend a few quid. He's brought a few players in. So out of the two sides there, I'll probably go for maybe Tottenham to have a decent season this season. And, again, Villa, they're decent as well. They've been having a few good seasons this last couple of years. And, of course, they've won a European trophy as well. So it's a tight one, that one, Ant. But,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for Tottenham, Ant.
Okay. Everton or Newcastle?
Yeah, Everton again. It's just the fans want them to do well, don't they? I know it's difficult at the moment in the Premier League, but Everton have not really won anything for quite a while, and moved into a brand new ground, of course. So the supporters will want that club to be pushing on a little bit. So out of those two sides, and again, probably a difficult one. And Newcastle have lost Eddie Howe, of course, and they're a massive part of the country, loads of passionate support in the northeast, but I think Newcastle are just coughing and spluttering a little bit at the moment. So out of those two sides, let's go for Everton to have a decent season and finish above. Who did we say?
Newcastle.
Yes, Newcastle. Yeah. Sorry. So let's go for Everton to have a decent season. Newcastle to cough and splutter a bit. I'll go for Everton there.
Okay, two more. Who will finish higher out of Chelsea or Liverpool?
And two teams in transition again. Liverpool have kind of got real backing now, haven't they? I think Jeff Bezos has kind of come in anyway with a load of cash, so give them a really solid financial footing. Obviously, new manager slot's gone now. Areola's come in. Liverpool spent a load of cash last season, so I think they'll be looking. So the supporters demand a lot of Liverpool. Against Chelsea's Abi Alonso, good manager, but again a team a little bit in transition. I think Chelsea underachieve a lot of the time. I'll probably go for Liverpool to have a better season this season and finish above Chelsea.
Okay, and finally, I had to do it: Man City or Arsenal?
Yeah, I think Arsenal very impressive today. I just mentioned that, didn't we? About a few minutes ago. Very impressed with them. I think they'll go back to back incredibly. I think I heard this right. The last time that Arsenal had a back-to-back title winning side was 1935, I believe. I'm sure they said that today on the Community Shield coverage.
Yeah.
So I will go for Arsenal to probably go back to back and win the Premier League again. So therefore, finishing above Man City.
Okay, keep your thinking cap on, because I've got three more. Not who will finish highest, but three more that I've just thought of that I want to put you on the spot on. Okay, who will win the Golden Boot?
I'd probably have to plump for Haaland, Anthony.
Yeah.
He's just a monster, isn't he?
I don't think there'd be many would disagree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a sort of he's one of these players that's really special, isn't he? On his day, he's powerful when he gets into his stride, and he certainly knows where the goals are. So let's go with Haaland.
Okay, who will win the Golden Glove?
The Golden Glove. So that's going to be for the kind of the most clean sheets, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you know what, Anthony? Let's throw Lamens in at Man United. Let's hope Lamens has a really good season. I've been impressed with him. You know, he made a bit of an error in the World Cup, and he's going to have to get over that.
Yeah.
But I think he's a really good goalkeeper there, Ant, and he's come in, he's took over kind of an Arna's spot, and United have been desperate for a good goalkeeper for a year or two now. So let's hope Lamens does it.
Okay, and final one. Okay, first Premier League manager not to be sacked, but to leave his football club. And we can include sacked in that. Of course, it might be mutual consent. He might resign. He might be fired. But first Premier League manager not to be or to leave the respective football club.
Yes, it's an interesting one, that, isn't it? Because you just don't know sometimes. It's like ridiculous kind of like...
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Probably Hull City's manager. Is it Sergei?
Yeah, I mean he's got a tough job on his hands, hasn't he? But considering he's only just brought them up, it is going to be tough for him. Yeah, Sergei Jakovic is the Hull City manager. Do you know who I'm thinking I might go for here? First manager to lose their job in the Premier League this season. I am actually, believe it or not, I'm going to plump for the Nottingham Forest manager.
Right, okay.
Simply because of what went on last season, or with Nuno and everything else, and Ange Postecoglou and all the rest of it. I know that they found themselves a stable footing in the end, but the owner there is quick to always pull the trigger, isn't he?
He certainly is. I thought it was a really bit of a weird appointment, that, because I thought he was doing quite well at Crystal Palace, or Glasner, isn't it? And why did he kind of like jump ship from Palace? Because I think at one stage, there was whispers of him or rumours of him getting the Liverpool job.
Yeah.
And like you say, he's ended up at Forest, and like you say, that owner is a bit trigger happy at times, isn't he? So that could be a great shout out.
If they don't start well, I suspect Glasner might find himself under a little bit of pressure. Anyway, we will wait and see. We might be totally wrong in everything that we've said. And if you do think we're totally wrong, then let us know. fulltimewithtw@gmail.com if you want to have your go at who will finish higher. Anything else you've heard in our Premier League prediction for this forthcoming season. You don't have to agree with us. We're more than happy for you to send in your comments if you disagree with us. In fact, the more the merrier. Coming up next on Full Time with Tonge Wareing, we'll tell you about what's coming up on future editions of our podcast. Full Time with Tonge and Wareing. We're nearly at the end of another edition of our football podcast. Just very quickly, Al, you're at the away end of another ground once again for us. Just give us all three clues for the listeners, please.
Certainly can. So clue one was this ground was constructed in 1899, the only home ground it's had in its history. Clue number two was it's the only professional ground not located on the mainland of Great Britain. And clue number three, in 2007, this ground hosted the highest scoring match in Premier League history.
Full Time with TW@gmail.com to have a go at this particular edition. of Al's away end. You can have a go at that. Get your answers in now. We'll read them out, and you've got the chance of winning a prize as well. Very quickly, Al, let me just remind everybody what's coming up in future editions of our podcast. We're going to look at the transfer window as well. We're going to do a review of transfer windows gone by, in particular deadline day and what's gone on deadline day in previous seasons. Do you remember the Peter Odemwingie one, where he pitched up at QPR unknowingly to both of his managers, the one that he played for and the one that he wanted to play for?
Yeah. I think Harry Redknapp's Winderdown's always been synonymous with
certainly
transfer
has.
deadline.
Yeah. Yellow ties as well, I seem to remember as well. But we want your stories as well from the transfer window, in particular deadline day, because that's really what we want to cover. You can send us now your best deadline day signing at your club, the ones that happened, and maybe the ones that didn't happen as well. Send them in to us here, fulltimewithtw@gmail.com. We're going to do a deadline day special from the transfer window. We're also going to have a look at the WSL as well, which gets underway in early September. So calling all WSL fans as well. You can, if you give us a listen, we've got a special guest coming on who's going to help us preview the WSL. Chloe Hudson-Jones, who's played at the very top of the WSL for the likes of Aston Villa and Liverpool. She's going to help us preview the WSL. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And I think over this sort of last decade or so, Ant, I think women's football has improved beyond all recognition, hasn't it? There's some really, really good sides now. I think the wages, the money's getting more increased. The professionalism's there. So really, really taking off. I'll be really excited to get Chloe's take on what she thinks is going to happen this season.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. That's all to come on Full Time with Tonge Wareing. We're at the end of another edition of our podcast. Don't forget, of course, if you want to get in touch with us, then you can email us fulltimewithtw@gmail.com. We're on X as well, fulltimetw. Al, we're done again on another edition. Enjoyed it?
Absolutely. It's always good to talk a bit of football for half an hour or something.
It certainly has.
Preview the weekend and things like that. So, amazing.
Our angry producer's been quiet tonight, but what does he think of it? What do you think, angry producer?
Less waffle, more football.
All right, okay, yeah, fair enough. We'll take that on board. Well, take that on board for future editions of Full Time with Tonge Wareing. That's it. We're at the end. Thanks very much for your company, and we'll see you again soon.